Good morning. Let's see. That'll work. Good morning, everyone. All right. So for this morning, I'm going to actually have you guys grab a towel or a blanket, pillow, yoga block, something to sit on. We're going to hang out in a squat here. You can also sit on your couch like this, so have your feet on the couch. I'm gonna move this up. So your feet can be up on the couch and you can be in a deep squat like this, in a chair, back up against a wall. We're just gonna hang out here for a little bit. So we are, sorry, slow morning. We are looking at the neck, specifically the jaw this morning, and then also some digestion stuff. So I just wanted to have a quick conversation while we sit in this deep squat. You can try to have your heels on the ground. So we're getting a little bit of ankle movement, mobility here. You can bring your knees a little bit wider. But when we sit in this deep squat, especially in the morning, it really just helps to get our bowels moving, which is awesome. We all want to have that healthy bowel movement in the morning if we can. And what I wanted to specifically touch on this morning was constipation. So a lot of people struggle with this, and I think it's because, well, there's a lot of different factors. So there's a lot of internal, what you're eating, what you're consuming, medication, how you're eating, if you're eating too quickly and not in a state where you can actually digest your food, that can kind of trigger that issue. But there's a lot of movement and just habit that we can do to improve that. So one of them is taking some quiet time in the morning to sit in this position. And you want it to be supported when we're doing digestive stuff. So we are working on hip flexibility, we are working on the ankle, but when we're supported, we're allowing our pelvic floor to relax. We're getting this deep hip position, which is similar to the squatty potty, which helps you eliminate more fully. And so think of it as preparing your body to eliminate in the morning. So I think a lot of people just get up and go and move, and it doesn't necessarily prepare your body for a relaxed bowel movement. Even if you do have a bowel movement, it might not be complete and full if you're on the go, if you're in that sympathetic state first thing in the morning. So this is my favorite way to start the day. Heidi and I hang out while I'm sitting like this, sipping on my coffee or my green juice. So I would definitely recommend doing that. But what we're going to do this morning is we're going to do a little bit of a stretch for the intestines to help with digestion. So we did a ton of digestion stuff on Wednesday, so I'm not going to dive into the belly ball rolling, but go back and watch that if you haven't yet in the Facebook group or on my YouTube channel. But what we're going to do is I'm going to show you a standing option. But I'm going to be showing the main one on my hands and knees like this, okay? So what we're going to do is, if this was, you could use a stool, you could use a counter, and I'm going to show my belly again here so you guys can kind of see this. But you want to have your upper body completely relaxed so you can let your belly just completely hang. So we're using gravity here to get our organs to stretch basically down. And you'll see this a little bit more once I stop talking, but This gravity is pulling down and we're letting everything relax. We're taking a couple of deep 360 breaths. So you can stay up there. I'm coming down to my hands and knees here. So I'm breathing and just completely letting belly hang down. So even here, you will probably feel some good stretching. Now what I'm gonna do, and you can do this when you're standing too, is I'm gonna take, I'm actually gonna come down on my forearm because I feel like I can relax a little better that way. And I'm gonna take my other hand and start to, let's do this side, start to kind of pull gently towards the center. So I'm just kind of grabbing all the organs and my belly contents that are hanging down across. So you may feel, what I'm feeling right now is a lot of tugging, more on the superficial, the thinner layers up top here. But once I stop talking, because when my talking starts, my abs turn on, I can feel just a little bit deeper. So just trying to pull, think of pulling it from the side to the center. Trying to just keep everything nice and relaxed. I can even kind of grab from the bottom and pull up. Can add a little bit of movement. Continue with that 360-degree breath while you're doing this. We can just let everything relax down. And then we're going to switch sides. So I'm just going to switch so you can see what I'm doing with my hands here. So come down onto the other forearm. Take a couple of breaths to let the belly relax again if you moved. And then we're just pulling across. One of the reasons this position is so powerful is we rarely, as a society, let our belly just completely go. So I think just getting comfortable with that is really important, but also when we get into this kind of bent over position, we allow gravity to help us kind of let go and relax. So can pull from the bottom up a little bit. Add a little bit of movement. All right, we can go ahead and come on up. Now, if you are standing, you can stay standing, you can sit on a chair, you can sit back on the ground. But what we're gonna do, actually, I'm gonna keep this up. So we're gonna do what's called an ILU massage. So when you are constipated and things aren't moving, oftentimes we can create this massage in the direction of digestion. So what you're gonna do is you're actually gonna start on the right side in the bottom of your, like right above your pelvic bone here. And you're just gonna make slow circles and think of it as very gently making a dent in your belly. And you're gonna make circles Small circles all the way up to the bottom of your rib cage here. So get right up against that rib cage. So there's the I. And then you're going to come back down to the right. The first time I learned this back in 2013, 2012. We're going to go across this way now to make that L. I taught a bunch of friends this, so every time we would have a meal together, we would do this after. So we're just literally following the large intestine. So you're going to end at the left side of your rib cage here. And then we'll come back down to the right. And now we're going to make that U. So we're just helping to stimulate something called peristalsis, which is our body's natural way of moving feces along. So you're coming across. And most people talk about how nice it feels, just after, especially after a meal or if you're constipated. So with that U, you're going to come here and drop down and make circles like that. So I, L, and then U. And it's really important to keep coming back towards this area just because that sometimes gets kind of blocked up. So just some fun digestive tips, constipation tips. The other thing to make sure is your liver is actually a really big player in digestion. So laying on the gorgeous ball like we've done on your side is another really good one. Okay, we're gonna move on to the neck and jaw stuff. So our pre-test this morning is going to be, so go ahead and take your left hand here. You're gonna gently place it over your ear. And we're gonna come to the side and we're just checking in with our body here. So I'm gonna take a couple of deep 360 breaths here. And then I'm gonna open my mouth and do the same thing. So open your mouth as big as you can. And you're just taking note of where you feel tension. Do you feel it tug in here, up in your jaw? Let's do that other side. So no tugging, just gentle using the weight of your hand here. Couple of breaths, mouth closed, and then couple open. So what's really interesting is our jaw muscles here and the front neck that attach to the jaw. Those are huge players in a lot of neck tension. And we kind of think of the neck as being this back muscle area that we can't work the front as well, but we're going to today. So I'll slide that out of the way. Double balls is what we're gonna start with here. You are gonna put it on a yoga block or book. You can also, if this is all you have, a larger ball, you can use that. You can also use a book and a rolled up, probably a hand towel would be the best size. And we're basically putting the balls at the base of your head here. So, I'm going to come down. So you're kind of right in that crevice at the base of your head, top of your neck. And I'm just gonna settle in here first. Should feel amazing. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tuck my chin. Get a nice long stretch and then release. And we're gonna do that a few times here. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do some rocking side to side. You can still do this on the towel. You can rock side to side with your chin more lifted. You can also go back to that tuck and rock side to side. We have a little puppy nightmare going on in the background. Okay, you guys can actually, we all have to come up because we have to take one of the balls out of the bag. So you're going to have a single ball. And we're going to start first right where this muscle, if you go right behind your ear here, we're going to be right like this. So we're not coming to the front. There's a lot of important structures in here that we don't want to lay on. We're going right behind the ear. And I'm just going to lay on my yoga block here. So just like this, and we kind of have to settle into this. You can definitely do this at the wall if this is too intense. This is not a good lacrosse ball activity unless you're at the wall. And once you can kind of settle into it here, we can roll a little bit side to side. I can get a little bit of twisting, and you'll notice, especially if you have this yoga tune-up ball, you can kind of twist it and grab some skin and get that moving. I can look up and down. And then we're going to try a little bit of that opening and closing of your mouth. And you may feel that tension right where the ball is. Okay, so now we're coming in front of the ear. We're going right on that jaw muscle here. There we go. If this grosses you out, because this ball has probably been on your foot too, you can put a pillowcase on it. I'm just going to wash my face after. So here we can add a little bit of up and down. I can nod my head back and forth. And then let's do a little opening and closing of the mouth. And you'll really feel it with that opening. Circles. Okay, let's go ahead and switch to the other side. So we're going back to the muscle behind the ear here. So I'm going to lay on my side, right on the yoga block, and then just kind of settle in. This side's much tighter for me. So we can roll a little bit back and forth. Add some of that opening, mouth opening and closing. Some hair in the way. If you struggle with headaches, these are really, really good techniques. Especially if your headaches, the source is from grinding your teeth or just tensing your jaw. And then let's switch to right in front of the ear. And again, settle in before you add some of that mouth movement. So just let everything kind of sink in. Add a little movement. Can open and close the mouth. Usually these are all the muscles that work over time when we have our head in that forward position, either looking down at your phone or just be like slouched on a couch, something like that, where that head gets really heavy and forward. Jaw muscles work really, really hard to hold us up. All right, go ahead and push back up. Runaway ball. So we're gonna sit here. Good morning, Michelle and Tori. So we're gonna sit here and we're gonna retest here. So hand on the head, gently pulling across. And open and close that mouth. And my neck tension is completely gone when I open my mouth. So hopefully you can feel that difference. Hi, Greta. Pull across. Completely gone. Crazy, blows my mind every time. So just keep thinking about that if you struggle with neck stuff, to really kind of target jaw, behind the ear. We're going to finish with one on the front too, but these are huge players in that neck tension. I love the yoga tune-up balls. The other thing that I love a ton is their rose quartz face rollers. And it's meant for kind of the integrity of your skin. It helps to rebuild collagen and aging and that kind of stuff. But it's also a really nice face massage because you can hit these spots just by rolling around too. So that would be another really good habit to get into. So let's do a little bit of neck stretching and then we're going to finish with the forehead. So what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to scoot this way. So hand is going to be down to the side. I'm going to look away or bring my opposite ear to the other shoulder. And I'm going to look down into my armpit. So you're feeling this nice stretch here. And then I'm going to keep my fingers pulled up as I lift. Bring my palm down as I come back down. So fingers up, lift. We're doing a little bit of those nerve glides and drop down. And then come back up. And then we'll switch to that other side. So arm out to the side, ear to the shoulder, and then you can turn to look down. So fingers up as you lift, down as you lower. This is like the new robot dance move. Come back up. Michelle's asking about collarbone. Yes. You know, Michelle, we did, I think that was on Sunday. I can send you that video. I think it was the mobility at the wall. We did a good amount of collarbone stuff. But I'll show you something quick here too. Let's do 2 more here. Okay, and then go ahead and come back to center. So go ahead and grab your ball of choice. So Michelle, one of the biggest things that I love for collarbone stuff, and I'll still send you the video from Sunday, but is just coming across here and getting some of the superficial skin and tissue here using the yoga tune-up ball so you can kind of grip and spin different directions. Come up, look around, and we kind of dove underneath the collarbone and the pec. So those are really good ones for collarbone stuff, and making sure that you don't forget the sternum. I know you know this because you work on a lot of people, but that there's not a ton of muscle here. It's more connective tissue, but that's a huge source of tension in the collarbone area. So we can kind of grip, grab around, kind of move around that way and add different neck positions like that. Okay, we're finishing with this on our forehead. So you can be up against the wall or you can be on the ground. I'm gonna be on the ground. I'm gonna use the bigger ball here. So I'm gonna have my forehead, make sure you can see that, forehead here, and I can have my hands here, here, and I'm just rocking side to side. So we're getting that whole eyebrow area that oftentimes we scrunch up throughout the day without knowing it. And I want you to kind of go over your eyebrows. You can go a little up and down, go between your eyebrows. So we're going to follow a little bit towards the temple. We're not going to hang out there too long. And then roll back to the center. Should put my hair up. So rolling to the temple and back to center. And then we'll go to the other side. To the temple. I would actually say this is probably easier on the wall than just staying on the ground because that's my setup. And then let's come back to center a little bit. And then we're going to drop down underneath, right on our cheekbone here. And roll. And then we can do the other side. And then you can come on up. So not only did we get some neck and jaw tension and headache tension away today. We also just gave ourselves a nice little facial. So it's just really cool what you can do with these tools. Again, I like the grippy nature of the yoga tune-up balls because it's just really grabbing on and working different layers of the skin, similar to if someone's hands were on you. So thank you for hanging out. Like seriously, teaching these classes has been so fun. So I just appreciate you guys joining, and keep me posted as you have requests. Greta, I'm glad you liked the neck stretch. Yeah, so we'll be back. Thanks, Dad, Mom and Dad. Oh, and Melissa's here. I will be back on Sunday evening, 5 p.m. So let me know if you have any requests. And this week we're still doing 10% of the donations to Face of Justice, a group helping to stop sex trafficking and helping those victims in Costa Rica. They're struggling a bit with the coronavirus, so we're going to send them some love too. So thank you. Have a good weekend. And I will see you on Sunday.